law, and our help. Lord, hope, love, peace. Please rise for our pledge of allegiance. D2, have love, peace. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. They be seated. Law, have right, peace. Take seats.
Good afternoon. My name is Jamie Woods, and it's my honor to serve as president of Wilson Community College. On behalf of the college and its Board of Trustees, I welcome you all to the graduation ceremony of our newest law enforcement officers. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our board members in attendance today. So, Ms. Layla Smith, if you would please stand and be acknowledged. Today we celebrate the dedication, perseverance, and hard work of our graduates. Graduates, congratulations. You have chosen a noble and challenging path, one that requires courage, integrity, and a deep commitment to justice. You are now part of a distinguished and honorable profession, one that plays a crucial role in maintaining the safety and security of our society. In your career, you will encounter diverse situations and challenges. You will be upholding the law, protecting the vulnerable, and fostering trust within the communities you serve. Remain steadfast in your principles, and don't let anyone or anything compromise those principles. In spite of sometimes seeing the worst in humanity, you will often see the best, and you will exemplify the best. Treat all individuals with respect and dignity, and remember that your actions will not only reflect on you, but also on the law enforcement community as a whole. And don't forget to keep learning and growing. The educational goal that you have achieved today is a foundation for a great future, so build on that. To the family and friends of our graduates, thank you for supporting and encouraging these officers on their journey. We appreciate your sacrifices and trust that you have placed in their mission. To the instructors and staff, thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. I am confident that the education and training you have provided has shaped these recruits into officers who are going to represent our college well. Graduates, you have our support, our respect, and our gratitude. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, Dr. Woods. Welcome to the graduation 123rd Basic Law Enforcement Academy here at Wilson Community College. It's an honor to be in front of you today. Before we get started, a couple of people I want to recognize on the podium. You've got the Sheriff of Wilson County, Calvin Woodard, and the Sheriff of Halifax County, Sheriff Davis, and the Chief of Police from Nashville Police Department, Major Stroud, Wilson Police Department as well. We also want to recognize Chief Scott Biddle. I see you hiding out there. I think he intentionally slips in after we get the dais set so that we can't get him up here. All right. Chief Orlando Rosario, who I can always count on in a pinch if I need some administrative things handled with the cadets and getting them in school, so we appreciate that, and there's probably plenty others that I have missed. Now, as far as the WCC staff, some of them are here. Many of them are not because they're carrying on their varied duties here on the campus. Ray Owens, Gary Gagne, and the entire maintenance crew for keeping the building running. They keep the classrooms cool, heated, hot water running. Anything that we need, they get it fixed. Miss Brenda Webb from purchasing, she makes sure that we get our weapons repaired. She makes sure we get our cars fixed. In fact, she and I have been running cars back and forth since we had driving about 2 weeks ago. Miss Jessica Jones is wearing about 8 hats at this time. If I need something, I can always reach out to her, and as with everything she's got going on, she somehow gets it approved. And then there's my print shop girls, Megan Elise and Kyla May. I have emergencies that I impose upon myself. I'll need lesson plans, or like in this instance, she got everything ready. Her and Kyla got everything ready for the graduation. They took pictures. They were, Kyla, in fact, reminded me this morning when I went over that I needed to give her the names of the cadets for the class photos. And I appreciate that. Ms. Hall for her guidance and her perspective throughout every day. If there's something I need that I can't handle at the time, she'll take care of it. Ms. Lucas, who many of you probably saw it when you came in, handing out handing out our programs for today. Dr. Woods, the president of the college, for her support and her advocacy for the program. Mr. Holston, who I never want to work with because if I have to deal with him, something's wrong. But Mr. Holston's always got an open door or a phone, and I can call him if it's something Ms. Hall can't handle, or if I need guidance on something. He's always there, and he's always ready to go. In spite of his many years here, he hasn't lost that drive, and thank you for that, Mr. Holston. Mr. Wes Hill, who is the Dean of Continuing Education, for his help in anything that we need. If I go in and check the mailbox or whatever, he's standing there. He's always got a word, wants to know how the cadets are doing. And I appreciate his insight and his help. To my wife, Callie, she's probably live streaming this. She's not here today, wasn't able to be here today. She had a management meeting, but in the mornings I get up between 3:30 and 4 a.m. and 260 pounds getting out of a bed kind of shakes it a little bit. She takes on the cooking duties, the laundry duties. She puts up with a barrage of phone calls. More this time, Cadet Butler. You know, when sitting on the couch with my wife on Friday and Saturday night, it was me and her and Cadet Butler. He was going to call me. He wanted to get it right, didn't you, Butler? Yes, sir, he did. All right, these cadets that have chosen to attend Wilson Community College, I'm proud to say, everyone that you see in a uniform here today is now drawing a paycheck. Many of them, when they came in, were not drawing one. And I'll speak more on that in just a minute. But it took the community here at Wilson Community College, it took the community at their homes, and it took the community of law enforcement officers and instructors to get them to this point. I have run 16 schools, and I see these young people come in. In fact, I was complaining to the cadets a while ago. This is the second time I've had to wear a suit this week. I attended a wedding of a cadet from the 115th Academy and one from the 119th Academy. I had to give remarks there. And so I was honored to do that as well. But I've been here teaching at this community college since 1993. And the help that I can reach out and get from the officers that are working, from the instructors, from the administrative staff of the respective agencies here, I appreciate that. I appreciate the trust that they put in us. Sheriff Davis came down here probably about a year ago. And he voiced to me, he said, you know, I'm going to send some people here. He said, I don't just want them pushed through. He said, I want them the best trained that I can get them, because he graduated here, as did Sheriff Woodard. So I hope that we have accomplished that, because these young men and women are going to live in the communities that they police. And this is going to be a rewarding endeavor on their part, and we hope that it reaps benefits for them later on. There were 640 state-mandated hours. That's going to increase in January to about 868. Jessica, you there? Trying to squeeze in. I've got one cadet whose wife is going to attend the next school. There were 714 on the schedule. But if you add in the shower hours that they get, we have to give them an hour to shower each day after PT, and the lunch hours that they had, they're well over 850. This was the biggest class that we've had enrolled here since 2016. The last class I graduated, only 4 people sat in those chairs. That was it. In this program, we started with 24, and there are 15 that are graduating today. So what was it like for these young men and women? Every day they got up. Sheriff Davis sent his people here. Warrenton was probably the farthest away. I've had some from Halifax, Littleton, got one from Raleigh. Many of these young men and women got up early at 3:15, 3:30 in the morning to drive here to be on campus by 5:45 in the morning. I get here at 5:25, 5:30. Many times they're already sitting in the driveway or in the parking lot. Chris Soto, yep, he was always there. He tried to be the last to leave as well. I always thought he was afraid I'd make fun of him driving or something, but he was always there when I got here. We started PT at 6 o'clock in the morning, stretching, sit-ups, and we did it with leg lifts, planks, air squats, CrossFit with Captain Sanders, old-timey workouts with Sergeant Finch. Captain Page took them on a 4-mile run. That was followed by what, 4.5-mile run with Sergeant Finch shortly after the officers were killed in Charlotte in order to honor them. After that, they got a shower at 7:50. They were standing, putting up the flag at 7:50. And then at 7:58, they recite the Code of Ethics. You'll hear that at the end of this ceremony. And then after they were done, they had to clean the facility. Where is Horn's family at? God, I love that young man. He is a cleaning little rascal. I'm going to tell you. He would never sat still. Walked in one day and he was in there fully clothed, cleaning the shower. But they clean the facility, so don't let them tell you they don't know how to vacuum, that they don't know how to spray windows, that they don't know how to clean the mirrors. Then they would go home. They had to get the uniforms ready. Some of them had to be coaxed to iron their clothing. Their PT gear had to be washed. There was some shaving errors that needed to be corrected. We took care of that, didn't we, Mr. Wilson? Yes, we did. And I was, in this audience here, you have instructors that some of them I have trained. I was Sheriff Woodard's training officer when he was here. Some of the other instructors here I've worked closely with. These men and women give their all in the training of these young men and women just simply because this isn't accounting or paralegal studies. They understand the gravity of the duties that they're about to intake. The instructors that have helped have taken on a huge challenge of training these young men and women for the duties that they're about to take on. We want them to be compassionate, we want them to be fair, we want them to be creative decision makers, and we want them to have great verbal skills, which over the last 4 years with COVID, some people got texting so much that was a challenge, but we got there, didn't we? Officer Emery, we did do, or Sergeant Emery, excuse me, we did do that. These young men and women relied on each other. They got together on WebEx meetings, and they helped each other study. Somebody got caught wearing a onesie with a little hood on their head. I do have a picture of it. You can see me afterwards, and I'll show it to you. They encouraged each other during breaks. They helped each other. So those who are weak on push-ups, you could see them out there working with power bands with them. They would encourage each other as they were running along. These young men and women have a huge responsibility, and we just scratched that surface. The only thing we prepared them for is to get in the car with a field training officer and ride for the next 16 weeks. In the first 4 or 5 weeks, they're going to keep their mouth shut and watch, and then they're going to gently turn over the duties to them, and then the last part, they'll just be shadowed. So that's what we have trained them to do. But it's encouraging in this day and age to see young people step up and to choose this career path when there's so much conflict sometimes and not acceptance. This class has demonstrated the abilities to do just that. Now a little bit about each cadet. Billingsley Houston. I'll make this quick. Billingsley Houston, I first met him, young man came in and was interested in coming to police academy, and then all of a sudden he texted me and said, I'm not going to be able to make it. I don't think I'm going to be able to afford to go. So I put him in touch with Sheriff Woodard's staff. They worked with him a little bit, and they weren't able to get him hired until 2nd of February, I believe it was. But the way the county is, they don't pay until the end of the month. So he was here for a month and a half. He was working at Target and donating his blood to make ends meet. And I was worried about him because of the simple fact that with him doing that, we were worried about his physical abilities. And he pushed through it. And I know how now. I stayed behind one day, and he had a piece of chicken, and he had 1.5 pounds of cheese melted on top of it. Never seen anything like it. I think he only lost 3 pounds the whole time he was here. And I know why. I don't know how he didn't get botulism, because I walked in the locker room one day, and he was in there with a raw piece of chicken. I've never seen chicken with goosebumps on it. And it was totally white. And then I'd walk in there sometimes, and he would be in there asleep on the bench. But he has pushed himself. He's very intelligent. He is unique in that he is himself. He's not going to bend to try to be anybody else. I just got to get him off that gaming system. Hey, Billings Houston, look at Brown. Thank him for his right elbow, because Brown's elbow kept him awake during class. I thought Brown was trying to fly. He was hitting him so much. So Cadet Will Brown is next. Will Brown came into my office. He was working at the animal shelter. This young man has a master's degree. He wanted to go work with Wilson County Sheriff's Office, and the sheriff told him, I don't have anything other than the animal shelter. And most people wouldn't want to do that. That young man right there jumped on it, did his job, and got the opportunity to come out here. The biggest challenge I had with him was getting anything other than, yes, sir. No, sir. And that's all he would say. He would say, if I walked up, I'd say, are you scared of me? Do I intimidate you? Yes, sir. I had a good time with Brown, though. He's physically fit, highly intelligent, and I enjoyed working with him. I knew his grandfather, who was on the Superior Court here in this district. His father's now on the bench, and I've known his father when he was in private practice, and it was an honor to get to train him. Joseph Butler. I talked to Joseph Butler more than I talked to anybody else, because I would leave on a Friday at 5 o'clock, and by Saturday morning at 8:30, Butler was sending me a text or a phone call. Weren't you, Joey? He wanted to make sure he had everything right, so it indicated to me that he was particularly appreciative of the opportunity that Sheriff Davidson gave him. Only thing we need to do is build his confidence just a little bit. We did. I had to go to him in the middle of it and tell him, Joey, quit changing answers on your test, son. You'll do fine. Just pick one and go with it. And he learned that works a whole lot better, doesn't it, Joey? He stayed right in there running. What are you, 33, 4? And he stayed right in there with running. He never complained about that. And we appreciate your effort, Joey. Charles Michael Bird, Wilson County Sheriff's Office. He came in here. First time I ever met him, I thought he was an evangelist preacher. He walked in the door with a full suit on, complete with a vest. I mean, he had everything there. I told him what I was going to need. As I told him I was going to need it, he was pulling it out. He burnt my printer up that first day. I talked to him about the PT regimen and what was going to be required, and he must have jumped on it because he fell back a little bit, but he stayed right up there as we were doing the PT sessions. He dedicated himself to studying. He said that was the one thing that was going to bother him was getting back into the swing of studying and testing, which these young people have to take a lot of tests while they're here. They'll take something on Friday and turn around and test on it on Monday. And he was worried about that, and he stayed on it. And I mean, if we had an hour to test, he was going to take 59 minutes and 59 seconds to take that test right before I turned it off. But you made it there, didn't you, Mr. Bird? Yes, he did. Blanca Gonzalez, Nashville Police Department. That young lady's been here before. 5 weeks. Yep. She came here before, made it all the way through grass drills. Where is Justino? Where you at, Justino? Aaliyah? Aaliyah's there? Hey, Aaliyah. All right. Well, Blanca walks in my office. The first day of her first BLET, she was severely in pain, and she would cry every day when we were putting push-ups and sit-ups and everything else. I mean, tears. She walked into my office. I thought she had a hernia. I didn't know what was going on with her. So finally I told her, I said, you're falling behind. You need to go do something, find out what's going on with you. She came in, stood in front of my office. She had tears in her eyes. She said, I got something to tell you. I know what's wrong with me. I said, you got a hernia. She said, no, I'm pregnant. And now she's had that baby, and she came back, and she made it all the way through. We had to work on those push-ups, but we got it. We got it. She has done well. She was the mother of the group. She kind of kept, it's like herding cats, and she would keep them all straight. And her and Soto would get an argument about who made the best rice, and she finally conceded. All right. Horn, I'm not happy with Sheriff Davis. He loves, what's the name of that show? Harry Potter. And he somehow got my wife to start watching Harry Potter vicariously through something we did at driving, some sorting hat or whatever. I don't know what that was. But he was, I thought he had been a deputy before. He's very quiet. He didn't say a word. But I tell you what, I see cadets that come in and they'll do that chore that they're tasked with. If it's to clean the toilet, they're going to do that one thing, go sit down. Not Horn. Horn's going to grab the vacuum cleaner. He's going to grab a toilet bowl brush. He's going to grab napkins and glass cleaner. And like I said, I walked in one day, he was cleaning the soap dishes in the showers. That young man, he is a neat freak. Where's his wife at? I don't know how I do not know how you live with him. Must be nice though. You ain't got to clean up none. He does like it clean. But he's that guy that doesn't cause a problem at all. You barely know he's there. But he is savage when it comes to wisecracks. I learned that early. I can't repeat the things that he said, but it was funny. He had the whole class. Now I've got Cameron Langley, who came here in the 116th class. And he had a little bit of a mindset where he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. He told me that coming in, and about week 3, 4, something like that, he was like, I really don't want to do this. And he went on and he became a firefighter. He did that for a while, and he decided, that's not me. And he came back, and he had a knee injury, and I could relate to that because I'd had one as well, and we had both had surgery. And he's like, I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I said, well, we'll do it together. And then week 3 or week 4, we'd had some heavy rains, and there was some mud washed out here on the sidewalk. And I heard an expletive and a splat on the ground, and I looked, and he was folded up like a accordion. And he was rolling out into the street. Glenn Langley, I saved him because a box truck was coming, and he was almost in the lane. He had rolled that far out, and I pulled him back in. But once we got him, he learned to trust that leg a little bit more, and he went right on from there. And I'm so proud of him. I can't believe how much that he has matured from that day back in 2020 when he came in the first time. And I'm very proud of you, Cameron. Then I've got my young man. I've called him Butler, but he's Overton. You can't miss him. He's kind of like the North Star. If you look at that dome. He came in, he got everything, he always had everything ready. How much weight did you lose? About 30 pounds? 26 pounds? And he got on this fitness regimen, and he was doing PT with us and then going and working out at night as well. I had to talk to him about that and calm him down a little bit. Had to talk to him about his protein intake. And we got that taken care of. And he loved it so good, he went home and talked his wife into it. So hopefully she's going to be coming to the next academy, and hopefully they won't get divorced because of that decision. Josiah Parker. I didn't say the middle name. All right. He is a little bit unique because I was sitting in Parker's, and he was my waiter. And my wife says, oh, he seemed like such a nice young man. So I gave him a card, and I said, if you're ever interested in law enforcement, I got agencies that are hired. And about 2 weeks later, I got an email, and he came in, and he had also had knee surgery. And he wasn't quite ready. He hadn't been released by a doctor yet. He was still healing up. Then out of the blue, he contacts me, and he's like, I think I want to do this. I put him in touch with Wilson Police Department, and he got a job, and he came through here. And he is gifted physically because he is strong. He's strong as a bull. You just got to work on that running a little bit. You remember that day we had to pick you up over here? Me and Sergeant Page? Well, actually, Sergeant Page, I went on around with the rest of the group. I left him back there. I figured he was the one that was the EMT. I'd go ahead and leave him. I'm proud of him. I enjoy talking to young people and trying to get them into a career field like this. Then we've got my buddy, Leatrice Patterson, otherwise known as, what's his name, group? Debo. He walks in, and I'd already heard about him from Director McIntosh, and he walks in, and I'm like, good gracious. If he bucks up, I'm going to have a problem. And he came in, and he and I talked, and we earned a mutual respect for each other. Didn't we, Leatrice? We did. Because he was as straight with me as I was with him. And I have seen him grow, and he's been successful in his program. He's going to Knightdale Police Department. He is 42 years old, veteran, and he pushed himself through. He is not a small man. We called him Twinkle Toes. Because if you ever see him run, he runs on the tips of his toes. His heels never strike the ground. You can mutter under your breath. You don't scare me. You know why? I got Washco's dad back there in the back row. There you go. Exactly. Never mind. We're getting to the end. Perkins. This group is unique in that I had all these classes that came through. We had very little impact from COVID. We finally did away with the mask, and we got in the classroom, and all of a sudden, on a Thursday, Will Brown started it. I believe you got it from your mom. Isn't she a nurse? Yep. He started it. Will had COVID. Then Washco called me, and he had COVID. Then 2 more had COVID, so I had to cancel. And we were out for 3 days, and we had one makeup day built in. And then I depressed all of them because they had to come in and leave their cartoons, and they had to be in at the academy at 7 a.m., and we trained till 7 p.m. that night and made up 12 hours. And we were able to get back on track. And we were there that Saturday, and we were doing anti-terrorism. And I can tell you, Perkins doesn't like terrorists. Because all of a sudden, he slams his hand against a concrete wall and just yells out, and he scared me. I said, let's take a break. You will find Mr. Perkins on a break reading some book on political science or whatever. He has an eclectic view of things that he likes to read and things that he likes to do, and he will offer you his perspective on it. But he has worked very hard here. We talked to him. He had something that occurred in his third assessment. He came in, sat down, and talked to me, and I showed him what he needed to be, and I told him, I said, now, Alex, you're going to have a problem here. You need to really push yourself in PT. And that next day, he pushed himself hard. And he went up 36% in his physical fitness assessment from week 11 to week 16, which was very impressive, which gave him and on top of his academics, gave him the right to graduate. So congratulations. Travis Smith. Man had worked for 24 and a half years in the local industry and left that employment and came in and was making pretty decent money. And then he looks at me and says, I want to be in law enforcement. He had already talked to his neighbor, Captain Bissett, and he came in and I said, well, son, you know it's after, we're going to start this class in about 8 days. I don't know if I can get you in or not, but if you get all this done, that was on a Friday, and on Wednesday he turned in his packet to me. He had everything done, everything was in order, it was easily checked off, and we got him in here. And I said, well, are you working out? He said, I work out with a 35-pound dumbbell. I said, we got something for you. About, second week, those calves started cramping up. We sent him to the hospital. He was out there until after midnight. And he's texted me that night, let me know he's okay, and he was released. He came back in, and he kept right on training. And now he sits there, and he's very quiet. He's about like Brown. If you put Brown and Smith in a room, you wouldn't hear anything else. It'd be a soundproof room. Because they're not going to say a whole lot. When it does, it's going to be very quiet. But for somebody to come in at 49 years old and to accomplish this is an achievement. Congratulations. Christopher Sotomayor Lopez. That was his nickname anyway. I met him in November. He was hired by Wilson Police Department. He started coming out here and just helping out around because I only had four cadets. So getting up cones, role player, things like that. He jumped right in. And so we started this class. And how much did you used to weigh, Chris? 240. and you last weighed in about 180, yep, and 181, something like that, and was already in shape, could do his push-ups and sit-ups, very strict on his diet, didn't catch him eating any junk. He had enough rice, we could bust him at a wedding. And but he was always helping out the other cadets. Everybody thinks he's all calm and cool and all that, and he's just very laid back. I've seen the other side of him once in a while. So congratulations, Chris. Dylan Washco, his carbon copy's in the back of the room. His dad is here from the Texas Department of Public Safety. They look exactly alike. I just met him today. Dylan came to me from the 82nd Airborne at Fayetteville, at Fort Liberty, Fort Bragg, and he was dedicated to this. Hannah, where are you at? She will tell you, she came to my office with him about 8 times. If he got a single piece of paper, he was calling me. Captain, I'm here, can I drop it off? And it's fine, come on by. So I got to meet Hannah and Dylan, he came in. How much weight did you lose, Dylan? About 20-something pounds? 25? He lost 25 pounds in running, push-ups, sit-ups, and he worked hard at that. And he is one of these that is also very, you got to watch him. He's quiet, but he's savage with some of his remarks. But he would always be in the multi-purpose area during lunch, and I would sit down sometimes and just talk to them. And we've had both of us are veterans, so we would talk about that. But I was glad to have him in class, and he's going to be a credit to Nash County Sheriff's Office. Congratulations. And last but not least, Dylan Dwight Cummings Wilson. He who does not like to sit in a testing seat. They had an hour to test. In 10 minutes, he had done 3 tests and was out. I was like, I'm going to have to call Joe Seeley and Sheriff Davison. Talk to them. He's going to be out of this academy for long. Look at his grades. He make an 85, 90, 92. Got time to go to the state exam. And I told him, I said, Dustin, you need to take your time. I don't want you to say guess, but take your time. Hour and 45 minutes, everybody else still in there. He comes bebopping out. How you feel? Oh, no problem. And it certainly wasn't. He worked at the detention center, came here, and we told him, you're going to have to be in shape, running, all that. He ran up front, push-ups, sit-ups, kept up, highly intelligent. Been very impressed with him, so congratulations. Congratulations. Now, each cadet that you see is going to cross this stage, and they're going to accept a badge here during pin ceremony. And that's just not a ceremony. That is a large responsibility that we're putting on them. They are accepting a responsibility to be receptive to the community's wants and their needs and to act on those. Whether it's a break-in in an affluent neighborhood or getting a homeless a blanket or pulling out money out of their own wallet to make sure that somebody had something to eat, you're going to have to be willing to do that. Not only just go to robberies and things like that. You have to have a human side as well. When me and that young man in 1994, Sheriff, was that when I trained you? 94, 95? We were riding in the car together, and one of the things I told him, I said, people will forgive you if you don't stop their break-in. They'll forgive you if you don't catch the perpetrator. They'll forgive you if you don't get all their stuff back. But they won't forgive you if you don't care. And he ran with that. Because I remember when he was a detective and I was supervising him, he would be gone for 3 hours from the office on one follow-up. I'm like, where you been? He said, well, Captain, I had to do a security survey at this. This lady she lives alone, and she's elderly, and I want to do a security survey. And I went to the store and I bought light bulbs and put up for her because she had some blind spots. And I cut her bushes back for her, kind of help her with that because she's elderly. That's showing people that you care. And that's just a bigger job in this career field as it is patrolling your areas. Be receptive and be responsive to the community needs. So with that said, I'm proud of each of you, how you've conducted yourself in the academy. If you didn't conduct yourself well, we took care of that in-house. I wish you the best in your careers and in your life. One of the benefits that I have in this job is I get to see young men and women like you. I get to see you get promoted, get married, have kids, and progress in your career field. I look forward to seeing you do the same thing. All right, and with that being said, there's an Academy plaque. Washco, if you would pull that out, pass that down to Langley, please. There's an Academy plaque that is awarded to the community college from each class. Now, my class is probably somewhere in the 22nd or 23rd. There's been 100 classes to come through here. I have one instructor over there that is teaching in Ms. Hall's class. This is his 88th academy that he's taught in. 88. And so we have all the plaques that are hanging in the academy. And you can see those there. My plaque's there. This plaque will hang along with those, along with the photograph of each cadet. And it is kind of a remembrance of their time here and that they are entering a law enforcement family and a Wilson Community College family as well. With that being said, I want to call Cadet Billingsley Houston and Cadet Cameron Langley up to the stage to present Dr. Woods the Academy plaque. The saying, each class puts a saying at the bottom, and this one says, "Are you in or are you out?" And this came up at driving track. And I think it was a Horn, was it you and Ben Mercer that were doing this? From the movie Central Intelligence. Are you in or are you out? No time for questions. So, and my wife made me watch that too, Horn. I'm not a big TV person. With that, we're going to do now the awarding of honors. And we had, in each academy, we give an honor for high academic achievement. We also give an award for high physical fitness award. So with that being said, I would like to call to the podium Mr. Will Brown for the Physical Fitness Award. Congratulations. Wait right there. Wait right there. This class did extremely well on the state exam at average overall scores. We take that as well as the average overall score that they have as far as their weekly tests. As I mentioned earlier, there are 37 topic tests plus an academy exam that these young men and women take. They can only, if they score below a 70, that's a failure. They only get 4 failures the entire time they're here, so they have to dedicate themselves to studies. And it was obvious that many or everybody here was dedicating themselves, but one person stood out beyond everybody else, and that was Mr. Will Brown. Thank you, Will. Will, I still haven't seen you in any of those terrorism conferences or WebExes that I have to do. And now the moment you've been waiting for, the awarding of their certificates and pinning of each deputy. I'd like to call Dr. Jamie Woods, Mr. Holston, Ms. Hall. Ms. Hall, if you could be here and hand these. We're going to call each person to the stage, and we're going to pin them. Y'all can move back towards the center a little bit. They're going to pose right there. There you go. We're going to call each deputy singularly to the stage, or each officer, and where they will be pinned and receive their certificate. The first one to receive his certificate is Trayshawn Billingsley Houston. Wilson County Sheriff's Office. Got it right here. He is being pinned by his wife, Trinity Billingsley. Stop there. Trinity? Perfect. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, young man. Congratulations. Congratulations. Trayshawn got married while he was in the academy. Will Brown was his witness and his videographer. Weren't you, Will?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I should have just made you stay up here. William Baker Brown, Wilson County Sheriff's Office. He will be pinned by his father, Ed Brown. Perfect.
Check my hand on
Congratulations, Will. Yeah. Next, from Halifax County Sheriff's Office, Joseph Butler. He will be pinned by his grandfather, Carol Beckelman.
Pose for the picture.
Charles Michael Bird, Wilson County Sheriff's Office. He will be pinned by his wife, Crystal Bird. Next, Blanca Gonzalez. She'll be pinned by her husband, Justino Benitez, her daughter, Aaliyah Benitez. And we also have something special for Blanca. She will also be pinned by her mother, Sophia Salazar. Blanca was not aware this was occurring. I talked with Ms. Salazar yesterday. She had talked to Justino, and it was a surprise, and we pulled it off. Justino, I should get the little man a small certificate. He was here for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
He ran grass drills. Next, Jarvis Horn, Halifax County Sheriff's Office. Will be pinned by his wife, Jill Horn. Next is Cameron Langley. Will be pinned by his father, Glenn Langley. Cameron is hired by the Wilson County Sheriff's Office. His father is also known as Hands of Stone.
Here's a picture. There you go.
Ow! Next is Stephen Overton, who will be of the Wilson Police Department and will be pinned by his wife, Jessica Overton.
Lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot of weight. Right there. There you go. This way.
This, grab right.
Stick it. There you go. There you go. Now pose for your picture. Congratulations. Come
I'll see you in August, Jessica.
She's coming to Wilson County. Come on, Parker.
Josiah D. Parker, Wilson Police Department. He'll be pinned by his father, Jamal Searles, and mother, Sandra Castro.
Oh, sweet picture. Oh, sweet picture. Come on. He's ready.
Next, Letris Patterson, Jr., will be pinned by his father, Letris Patterson, Sr. Look right there. Look right
Oh,
there.
my goodness. Congratulations, Patterson. You good.
Congratulations. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Horn, he asked, could he hug me? I said, mm-mm. Next, Charles Perkins will be pinned by his wife, Devin Perkins.
All right.
Perkins is employed by the Halifax County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, he's got the little one. He got the little person.
Travis Smith, Wilson County Sheriff's Office. Be penned by his wife, Leanne Smith. Travis, was that your nightmare? Leanne coming at you with a sharp object? Next is Chris Soto Lopez. Be penned by retired Major Kendra Howell.
She betrayed us. This is the first year she hasn't been sitting up here. Second. There you go. Traitor.
Dylan Washco, Nash County Sheriff's Office, penned by his wife Hannah Washco, but also by his father, Sergeant Washco, Texas Department of Public Safety Highway Patrol.
You got his hat on.
Congratulations. Yep.
And last but not least was
And last on our list, but always first out of testing, Dustin Wilson, Halifax County Sheriff's Office, be penned by his mother, Rebecca Johnson.
she made that look easy. Post a picture. All right, that's congratulations.
After putting up the colors, our nation's flag, every morning at 7:50, about 7:58, we come in, the cadets stand at attention behind their chairs. They're given first day a page full of paragraphs that they have to memorize. The cadets cite this every morning as a reminder of what their duties are and what they need to strive to be each and every day in their personal life as well as their professional life. Cadets, please rise.
So moved.
I, a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to protect the constitutional rights, laws, liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life and soul as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to you or my agency. I will maintain every calm, face danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest by deed above my personal and official life. I will be exemplary in making laws and regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of confidential nature that does not meet my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless regulations necessary to perform for my duty. I know that I alone am responsible for my own standard of professional performance, and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will constantly strive to achieve the objectives and ideals of dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the cadets march out, there are refreshments in the back room back here. We encourage you and ask you to please spend some time back there and engage with each other. We thank you for attending. For the last time, for the 123rd Academy. Right, peace! Outward, out! You are dismissed for the final time.